The September 24th episode of Married at First Sight UK delivered some of the most shocking moments we've seen this season. From brutal honeymoon rejections to wedding day red flags, this episode had everything that makes reality TV both compelling and uncomfortable to watch. Viewers witnessed relationship disasters unfolding in real time, and the fallout on social media was immediate and intense. The main story that had everyone talking was Leigh and Leah's honeymoon disaster in Switzerland. After their already awkward wedding, where Leigh refused to kiss Leah and demanded separate rooms, fans were hoping the honeymoon might give them a chance to connect. Instead, what we got was one of the most painful honeymoon segments in Married at First Sight UK history. Leah had clearly put effort into planning romantic activities for their Swiss getaway. She was still trying to make this marriage work despite all the warning signs from their wedding day. The couple was supposed to go zip-lining together, which should have been a fun bonding experience that might help them build some kind of connection. Instead, it turned into a public humiliation that left viewers cringing. When they arrived at the zip-lining location, Leah was doing her best to be enthusiastic and encouraging. She was trying to create a positive atmosphere and maybe salvage something from this honeymoon. You could see her making a genuine effort to connect with Leigh and find some common ground between them, but Leigh was having absolutely none of it. The moment that shocked everyone and became an instant meme was when Leigh exploded with, "No, Leah, I am not excited." The way she said it was so harsh and dismissive that you could see Leah physically recoil from the verbal attack. This wasn't just about being nervous about heights or feeling scared about the activity. This was Leigh making it crystal clear that she didn't want to be there with Leah at all. What made the situation even worse was that this brutal rejection happened in front of crowds of other tourists and the ziplining staff. Everyone could see and hear Leigh rejecting her new wife in the most public way possible. The second-hand embarrassment was overwhelming, and you could see how mortified Leah was by the whole situation. She had been trying so hard to make things work, only to be humiliated in front of strangers. Leigh then had what appeared to be a panic attack about the heights, which added another layer of drama to an already tense situation. While it's completely understandable to be scared of heights and have anxiety about extreme activities, the way she handled it made everything about her own fears and completely ignored how her behaviour was affecting Leah. She was so focused on her own discomfort that she couldn't see how cruel she was being to someone who was just trying to make their honeymoon work. Leah tried to be understanding about Leigh's fears and panic, showing incredible patience given how badly she was being treated throughout this entire trip. But you could see her reaching her breaking point as the honeymoon continued to go downhill. She had already given Leigh an ultimatum about their relationship after the wedding, and this honeymoon behaviour was proving that Leigh had no intention of even trying to make things work between them. The Switzerland disaster basically confirmed what everyone already suspected after watching their wedding ceremony. This couple was completely doomed from the start, and no amount of romantic locations or planned activities was going to fix the fundamental problem that Leigh simply wasn't attracted to Leah and didn't want to be married to her. While Leigh and Leah were imploding on their honeymoon, the episode also showed us Joe and Maeve's wedding, and it was full of warning signs that fans immediately picked up on. At first glance, their wedding seemed much more positive than some of the other disasters we've seen this season, but the cracks were already starting to show if you knew what to look for. Maeve was clearly excited about the match and made enthusiastic comments about wanting to kiss Joe at the altar. She seemed genuinely happy and ready to embrace the experiment with an open heart. Her energy was infectious, and she appeared to be exactly the kind of participant who could make Married at First Sight work, someone willing to be vulnerable and put herself out there for love. But Joe's reaction in the confessionals told a completely different story that revealed his true feelings about the match. While Maeve was being enthusiastic and positive about their future together, Joe was already expressing serious concerns about her personality. He described her as having a free spirit and being too lively for his taste, which are basically polite ways of saying he found her annoying and over the top. The fact that Joe was already criticising Maeve's personality on their actual wedding day was a massive red flag that this relationship was heading for trouble. If Joe was already finding fault with Maeve's enthusiasm and energy on day one, it suggested he wasn't really open to making this work. Fans immediately started predicting that this marriage would fail spectacularly, and honestly, who could blame them for being pessimistic? Joe's reaction was giving off major "I'm too cool for this" vibes, while Maeve was being genuine and excited about the process. The mismatch in their energy levels and attitudes toward the experiment was obvious from the very beginning. What made Joe's behaviour even more frustrating was the complete hypocrisy of it all. Here was a guy who voluntarily signed up for a reality TV show about marrying a complete stranger, but then acted like his new wife was too much for being excited about the process. If you don't want someone with personality and enthusiasm, maybe don't go on a show that requires both of those things to succeed. The episode also checked in on Grace and Ashley, and their situation hadn't improved at all since their disastrous wedding and the feminist clash at their reception. If anything, the tension between them seemed to be getting worse as they tried to navigate their honeymoon period without killing each other. Grace was apparently laying honeymoon traps for Ashley, which sounds like she was testing him to see if his traditional views would continue to clash with her feminist beliefs. This kind of testing behaviour suggested that Grace was still deeply uncomfortable with Ashley's stance on gender roles and was looking for reasons to confirm her worst fears about their compatibility. The threat of Grace quitting the experiment was still hanging over their relationship like a dark cloud. She had already threatened to walk away after their wedding reception clash over feminism, and it seemed like she was just looking for an excuse to follow through on that threat. The honeymoon traps were probably her way of giving Ashley one last chance to prove he wasn't as traditional and backwards as he seemed. All of this drama led to fans seriously questioning whether the experts were deliberately making bad matches for the sake of television drama. The pattern of incompatible couples this season was becoming impossible to ignore, and viewers were starting to call out what they saw as manipulation for ratings rather than genuine matchmaking. The theory that the experts were prioritizing explosive drama over actual compatibility was gaining serious traction on social media. Fans pointed out that almost every couple this season had obvious fundamental incompatibilities that should have been spotted during the matching process. It seemed like the experts were more interested in creating dramatic television moments than actually helping people find lasting love. The September 24th episode triggered a massive reaction on social media, with fans expressing outrage at the cruel behaviour they witnessed. Leigh's treatment of Leah was particularly criticised, with many viewers calling her unnecessarily cruel. Joe's immediate judgment of Maeve also drew backlash from fans who felt he was being unfairly critical. The episode proved that this season was heading for complete disaster, with multiple couples showing fundamental incompatibility from day one. Instead of genuine love stories, viewers were getting pure cruelty and emotional manipulation disguised as reality television entertainment for the masses.